we are here in Port Sarim. Talk to my good friend Chunk Sarim or Chunk 5 Aram. How do you pronounce your name? What do you go with?
It's Chunksarim. The only reason it's a five is because I couldn't find a name that worked with the S. I went through so many options. I was trying spaces, I was trying like underscores, whatever I could, but nothing worked, so I had to settle with the five.
I like it. It took me a while to understand what it was, and I think you actually had to explain it to someone else. I was like, okay. But I'm a little dumb, so.
It's alright, me too. Hence why I've got a number in my name.
So you have been in this chunk that we're currently in for how long? When did you start playing your account?
Ooh, I think it was just over 4 months ago, I want to say. I think it was around mid March, I think, but I can't guarantee that because
Yeah.
I actually don't know how to find out. But yeah, I'm a blue gem in the clan, so I'm over 3 months.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can never be a gem. I'm not allowed. I just get the sword.
Yeah, but that makes you stand out. I kind of wish
Yeah,
I
that's
had a
true.
sword, but
You just change your rules. There you go. That's all you gotta do. Just be. So, what has been the most surprising part for you since starting your account about this chunk in particular? What's something
out
you
this
didn't
chunk.
expect?
Oh, I tell you what, that's a tough one actually. I reckon the thing I didn't expect was a huge magic grind. I don't know why, but I just wasn't putting one and one together with the magic shop. I should have really, but yeah. But yeah, I
And
reckon it,
what
it
did
would have
you?
been that.
Sorry, what was your grind? What did you end up having to get?
So in this chunk, so the one we're currently in, it was 50. No, what was it? Bear with.
No,
It was. It was one of the.
it'd be a
It was
death
Death
rune run,
Runes.
right?
Yeah, it was Death Runes.
59.
What's fire? That's it, 59. Yeah. But then that quickly changed when I ended up rolling the South chunk, and I had to go all the way to 79.
Because that got you blood runes, right?
Yeah, blood runes. So it was pretty horrible. It's actually a shame because the original extreme rules don't count combat spells. However, the vanilla rules do count combat spells, and I kind of looked at that and I was like, huh, that seems a bit weird to sort of step down in difficulty because obviously otherwise I'd only be doing 55 for high level alchemy. Um, so I just thought, you know what, actually, it doesn't feel like it's actually an extreme rule to only do utility spells. So I just said, whatever, I'm going for it. I'll do the combat spells, and then deeply regretted it about 2 hours later.
Well, the good news is, after having watched your series, you didn't have a staff slowing you down, right? That must have made it a lot easier.
Slow me down. Oh my god, the staff.
The
Oh
the
mate, that
extra weight.
it was. Oh, I'm never manual casting another spell. Honestly, that was the worst thing in my life. Because the
Yeah, so
thing
you
is,
went.
as well, you have to click twice. And I know that sounds stupid, but normally if you're doing something where like pickpocketing, for example, you can swap left click and every click is an action. But with casting, you've got to click on the spell and then move your mouse onto the target. So you're sort of going back and forth. So you can't just like look away from the screen and just keep clicking. You got to like eyes on the whole time. It's just, yeah, it's tiring.
Yeah. Well, I think an additional element to what is annoying about those type of grinds is the lag time that you're allowed. So you can't get into like a good speedy rhythm. You have to go with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I still just spammed it, but yeah, I mean, it was like I was probably clicking 5 times and only casting one spell, just because
Yeah.
yeah, I was just sort of like click 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 click, just because why not?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like more effort to time it, if that makes sense. It
Yeah.
seemed like more effort to go click on the spell, click on a thing, wait the right amount of time without waiting too long so that I'm wasting time, if that makes sense. So I just sort of
Yeah.
rapidly went, hoping that it would just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. That would be awful. Watching your video doing that, I felt so bad for you.
It
Do you
wasn't
want?
too bad in the end though.
Yeah. Do you want to show me around your chunk? We can maybe
Yeah,
walk
let's
around
do
it,
it.
and
Let's go.
I will
Where should we
follow
start?
you.
Yeah, do it.
So what? Can you show me where you trained the most in this chunk? What was your? Where do you think you spent the
Ooh.
most time?
So, uh, I would have to say it was. Are you on run or walk? Oh, you walk. That's cool.
Oh,
It would have been this house right here. This I spent. I mean, especially I spent days upon days, top down, looking at this house because firstly, it was to pickpocket the man in here. I pickpocketed him 72,000 times to get the money for the 59 magic grind to buy all the runes. So I was in here for
awful.
a long time pickpocketing, and then I moved on to just casting spells on him. So I cursed and then used air strike, wind strike, whatever it is, the first, like the cheapest spell. So that was sort of my tactic in here. Um, yeah, I just spent hours upon hours in this one room. It worked quite well because obviously the woman was on in the room to the right over here, and the man spawns in the one to the left. So I sort of stood in the doorway, and I would just like attack one and then attack the other. And by the time I'd killed the first one and like looted it, the other one would have spawned. So it kind of worked out all right, but it was still,
Yeah.
it was a very tiring experience.
And this was, were you doing wind strike the whole time?
I think it was Wind Strike. So I used Curse because that's, I believe, the cheapest XP per GP spell out there. I think it is. Don't quote me on that
Yeah.
though. But yeah, I cursed them, and then I'd use Wind Strike to kill them. And then if I had like extra fire runes or earth runes from drops, I would use them. In fact, actually, I think I was using Earth Strike quite a lot because I think that worked out quite cheap as well.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so it was like the cheapest spells I could get basically. So I could have done it quicker, but the payoff with that is that obviously I'd have to pickpocket more to make more money. So and that was the slow thing because the GP per hour pickpocketing the men, I think it topped out at about 2.5k an hour.
That is terrible.
Yeah, and I think I needed about 300k to complete the magic grind.
Yeah.
So that was yeah, that was long.
What a weird place for a poll booth. I'm just noticing that here.
Yeah, I wondered that. I found that a bit weird to have that in here. But I
Yeah.
guess it's because I think they have one in each town, and obviously Sarim doesn't have a bank, so it I guess they just plonked it in here because there was nowhere else for it to go.
How was it playing without a bank?
Um, it wasn't too bad because I've got the deposit box. So I was kind of playing like a soft Ultimate Iron Man for the first chunk, or well, the first two chunks, because I could bank things, but I couldn't withdraw them. So over here, I've got down by the monks, I've got the bank deposit. So that was quite good because things like the cooking grind, I had to get 65, no, 58 cooking for a pita bread, and I did mostly pizzas for that. That was quite good because I could obviously just cook the food and then chuck it in the bank, and now I've got like a stack of like 1,000 pizzas, which is super nice. So at least I wasn't sort of wasting stuff, but it
Yeah.
did mean I had to do a lot of inventory sort of admin, and the biggest downside was all the runes building up. So I was getting like nature runes and stuff like that, which obviously I wanted to keep out for high level alchemy and stuff, especially when I got to the second chunk. So I was sort of like cluttering my inventory, and I had a steel plate body which I got from a mystery box, and I didn't want to put that in the bank because there was no way except for pot luck to get another one. So if I did end up getting more chunks without a bank, I was like stuck. So I sort of had to keep all this stuff in my inventory and just hope for the best. But yeah, it worked out all right though. But
Yeah,
it's definitely made me more interested in doing an Ultimate Iron Man at some point.
that's crazy to me because I playing my account. I have a similar issue where I rarely have banks or access to banks, and I would
Hmm.
hate to do an Ultimate Iron Man at this point. I that's the part I
Really?
like the least. Yeah, it stresses me out because I'm like, do
Oh,
I
for
keep this
sure.
bird's nest? Is how important
Yeah.
is this one bird's nest for my account that doesn't even have Herblore unlocked? Like that,
Yeah,
those
no,
choices are rough.
I definitely lucked out with the deposit box. But the funny thing is, actually, I can't. I don't know if you will remember back to my first episode. I didn't even realize I didn't have a bank. I just chose
Yeah, yeah.
Port Sarim because I thought it would be an interesting place. And at the time, there weren't any other series in Port Sarim, and I knew I wanted to do a
Mm-hmm.
series, so I was trying to sort of find somewhere unique. Um,
Yeah.
Ended up that there's actually a couple of series now in Sarim. Shout out to Brewscape, he does a good series in Port Sarim as well. Um, but yeah, so I kind of just chose it on a whim, and then like half an hour after starting, I was like, "Oh, damn, I haven't got I haven't got a bank." So that was quite a funny one.
Yeah, that must have been a big shock.
Yeah, it was just one of those oversights because my whole sort of ethic with it is, or thought trail, I suppose, is like I don't want to do too much planning because to me the adventure is working it out as I go. So some people will they'll sort of look 10 chunks ahead or try and work out where they might end up, and they're thinking about what they can do to secure their like position in the next chunk and stuff like that. And I don't do any of that. I just sort of I haven't looked at any of my rollable chunks to like properly check what grinds I'm going to have coming up. Literally, I just sort of I like the surprise of it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. That's like similar with my account is one of the things that I really
Mm.
enjoy is going into a new chunk and it feels almost like an escape room where it's like, okay,
Mm.
what tools do I have? What options do I have? What can I do in this next hour? And like how can I get the most work done to unlock this chunk
Yeah. See,
while
I love your series. I think it's such a cool idea.
hey, thanks. I appreciate that, man. It is
That's
yeah,
all
it's been a
good.
lot of fun. The
Yeah.
But it would also, I would be on the wiki nonstop if trying to plan out my series in advance because I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I do spend time on the wiki, obviously, because we do end up finding weird ways around doing things and stuff like that. So there is some time on the wiki, but I try to keep it as what I'd say authentic as possible, just sort of working it out as I go along.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, what have been your roles? So we started here in Port Sarim. You rolled south. What other
Yeah.
roles have you done?
So I went, hey, look, it's Pylon's chunk. There's one of our other chunker friends here.
Oh, hey, there he
Um,
is.
they sometimes come by because I think they're local as well. And I'm just gonna say hi to them. Rolled south, so I had the Ice Giants dungeon, and now I'm on my third unlocked chunk, which is the Void Outpost, which I'm super buzzed about. I'm really happy I got that.
Oh, do you need to roll the actual island or do you unlock that?
Ah, you gotta roll the island. You
Yeah.
gotta roll the mini game. So at the moment, I haven't got the mini game unlocked, which is a shame. But I knew that obviously I'd have to unlock the outpost first. So I mean, I'm doing as well as I can to unlocking pest control because obviously getting the void outfit would be like super huge for any account. I mean
Yeah.
that's what like one of those basic things that most people do on their mains, isn't it? When they get to the right sort of level, is they get the void armor, and that pretty much stays with them for the whole through the whole playthrough, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
I'd really hope I can get that next. That'd be cool.
So what grinds do you have over there? Do you want to head over there?
Yeah, let's go. There, it's a bit of a dare I say, a bit of a rubbish chunk, really. So it's a 75 fletching. Um, that's the main thing is the 75 fletching because there's rune arrow tips. So I've got to
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
extreme rules. I've got to do a rune arrow. Um, Other than that, though, there wasn't really much. Let me get my chunk picker up. It was all pretty much willow related, I think. Uh, yeah, because there's a bronze axe in the general store, and so that unlocked wood cutting for me. Because even though there aren't any trees on the outpost itself, there's regular oak and willow trees in Sarim, so I had to start on them. So thankfully, I also got a steel axe from the ice giants. So
Oh,
at least
yeah.
I'm not stuck with a that would have been killer doing 75 or not 70, yeah 75 fletching, having to cut all the logs for that with a bronze axe. That would have been a bit tiring.
Yeah, that'd be brutal. Yeah, these rune arrow tips really got you, huh?
Yeah, yeah, too right. But I don't know. It's a cool chunk. I've got a second magic shop, which I know a load of the clan are a bit annoyed about because everyone wants a magic shop and I've got two of them, which is kind of cool. But yeah, other than that, it's a bit of a nothing chunk, really. One thing I was laughing about the other day was actually the limited amount of land I've got. So if you look on the map, the Void Outpost is maybe a quarter of the chunk is actually walkable land, if that. Like it's such a small area, and then you look
Yeah.
at Sarim, and it's like this tiny little slither of land actually available. So I've pretty much chosen the most limited like area to work in. But yeah,
Yeah, when they
it doesn't
when they
feel it
add
though.
swimming to the game, you're screwed, man.
Yeah, well, sailing's supposed to be coming up at some point, isn't it? And God knows the 99k cape will probably be in Sarim, won't it?
Yeah, probably, right? It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It'd be iconic. Unless you know what? They may give it to, what's his name? Ned? The guy who makes ropes.
Yeah. Is he Catherby?
No, he's, Drainer.
Oh, oh yeah, of
For
course he is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Dragon
Yeah,
Slayer
quite
1.
possibly.
That would be
Yes,
my
you're
guess, because
right.
he's an old sailor. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
thematically. Unless they add a new NPC, which I wouldn't be surprised either.
They may even consider putting it in Port Biscarius as well, just because I don't think there's any quest capes, skill capes over that side of the map, are there? So they might just do it just because to spread it out a bit, maybe. But who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, do you want to go find a tree and I can cut with you? I brought my forestry pack.
Sure, go for it.
How is it having a bank on pest control now?
Oh, mate, honestly, bank reveal coming up in the next episode. I was shocked. I was so surprised at how much I actually had. Because I've only really like hovered around Sarim. Like I didn't expect to really have that much. I mean, I've killed quite a lot of ice giants, obviously, but the majority of their stuff um, I outed. So pretty much all my loot has come from like men and women. But the amount of herbs and stuff I've got from them, because I've killed I think like 30,000 men and women. I think
Yeah,
something like that. So
that's
like
gotta
the
be.
herbs are crazy.
Yeah, I bet that's gotta be a ton of stuff. They
Yeah.
the men's herb table is crazy. The amount that they have and drop.
Mm.
Like I've never. So I have another account that I'm playing in Varrock. Hey, what
Yeah.
is?
Hey, one straight away.
I don't even know what this is. Is this just the bank one?
I think you have to just stand under it and then you get a little like boost, an XP boost. It's kind of funny because I got to 80 wood cutting, and I don't have any like I my chunk requirement was 30 wood cutting, but I ended up with 80 just because of all the wood I've got, like all the logs I've got to chop. Oh, we were talking about the bank. My bank,
Oh
yeah.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
it was just kind of surprising, like how much stuff I had. I think my bank value was something like 8 mil, 9 mil, something around there. It was like a shocking number to me at least.
yeah.
I was kind of mad, really. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if bonds count in that value, but there's a few bonds in there that people had donated over time. I think there was like 5 or 6 bonds, so that probably boosted it a bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
obviously there was
that
all the herbs as well.
that's one of the cool things about your series is how central it is, and it seems like you're running into people all the time. Like we ran into pylons earlier. How often
Yeah,
do you see people from the clan or people that know your series?
yeah. Well, there are quite a few people who now have port stream. I think people who are using charters, they quite often have it unlocked, just because it's obviously rollable through charters. You've
Sure.
got Supreme Sarim. Seen him around a bit. But there's like, yeah, like just the people from like who'd watch the videos. Like there's so many cool people who just stop by just to say hi and stuff. Like, it's really nice to see that.
So is there any item so the kind of two-parter, an
Hmm.
item you wish you would have had in your chunk, your starting chunk, or I guess your chunks now, and an item you are so glad you didn't have?
Oh, that's an interesting one. So I mean, the obvious one, the item I wish I had would be a staff. Like straight up, I wish I had a staff so bad. Obviously, the magic grind's over and done with now. So now, an item I wish I had. Uh, Well, I don't know really. There's not much I need at the moment because I just have fletching to do. Obviously, when I was doing the wood cutting, something like a rune wood cutting axe would be kind of cool to have. But yeah, I think the biggest one would be a staff. I mean, that's the meme of my account basically is the fact that I never got a staff after all the trying I had. Um, an item I am glad I don't have. That's a tough one. What grinds would I have unlocked? Um, ooh, I don't know. Because there's not much here. Like I don't have any ores here, so it's not like I would suddenly like if I got a pickaxe, I would have anything to do there. Um, I tell you what, I'm glad I don't have like a regular farming patch because a farming grind would be kind of grim, I suppose. Because obviously I've only got a spirit tree patch. Like, there's no way I can get high enough. I have got 22 farming just from raking that patch whilst I've been woodcutting. But yeah, like if I had a regular farming patch, I mean the amount of seeds and stuff I've got from drops from the men and stuff. Magic stuff. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. My bad. Sorry. I was trying to clear some space.
Literally, it's like every day someone comes by and drops a staff next to me. I had one like a couple of days ago because normally people will like they'll drop a staff or they'll like spam the floor with staffs and they'll just stand there and wait for my response. But I had one the other day where a guy literally just came along, dropped one, ran off, and because obviously there's like that 2 minute delay before the item spawns, I didn't even know they were dropping anything, and suddenly just this magic staff just left like was just left on the floor. I was like, for God's sake, it's so funny.
What do you see as the end game for your account?
End game. Again, not something I've really planned about. I guess. I mean, I want to get a few capes. Obviously, being an extreme capes are an inevitable. I'd like to get a few capes. I'd like to complete a boss collection log. I don't know which one or ones that would be.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's not too many nearby. I've got the giant mole, but it's a bit of a rubbish boss. But yeah, maybe a boss collection log would be cool. A few 99s. I think the beauty of a chunk account though is that there isn't really an end goal to it.
Sure.
Like you look at some of Settled's series, and it's like the end goal is to get a fire cape or to complete Theatre of Blood and stuff like that. Like they have
Yeah.
that set goal. Whereas chunk accounts, they can just keep expanding until the map's full. So realistically, they can keep going forever. So I think it really will just be a case of until I get burnt out or until the series dies off a bit or until I get bored. Yeah, whatever it is, really. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, though. I mean, I still very much feel in the honeymoon phase of the account and the series, so I've got a long way to go until I get anywhere near bored, I think.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's awesome. Do you have
Yeah.
any chunks around you that feel like death chunks to you?
Hmm. Uh, what have I got? So see, this is the tough one. Is I've got Draenor next to me, which is 99 farming, but I've been quite clear from the start that I don't think I will be doing 99 farming as an active task. I'll just do it sort of passively. So I'll always make sure I'm growing something in the patches that I've got available. But I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna roll until I've got a 99 farming cave, because that, especially being a video maker, I've got to consider what's interesting as well. So if
Sure.
I just disappear for 6 months because I log in every 45 minutes to plant some seeds, like that's not fun for anyone, is it? So
Yeah.
I'll just sort of do that in the background, I think, if I get that. Um, Obviously, I've got East Falador, which is 99 mining. What is it? There is 99 smithing as well, but I don't think that's really feasible. I see that as a bit of a meme grind because what is it you don't have? You don't have a furnace, I think, in East Falador. So there's not really any like easy way to train it. Um,
Well,
Rimington to
smithing
the left. Go on then.
smithing is near the ice dungeon, right? Isn't that where the
Yeah,
cave
but
is?
that's on the west side of the. So I haven't unlocked that bit yet, but it's yeah. So it's the west chunk,
Yeah.
to the south Sarim chunk. So yeah, you're
Is
right.
that
That would be kind of scary. There's no way for me to get bars in the west chunk, like the smithing chunk.
yeah.
So again, there's not really any way to do that. I've got Rimington to the west of this chunk, which is technically 90 mining with a bronze pickaxe with shooting stars. So that would be
Terrible.
interesting. What else is around? To be fair, West Falador is pretty horrible as well from memory, because that's got obviously the giant mole in it. Um, so it's not ideal. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's a.
mole can take a while if you don't get spooned on the pet. That's a that's a long one.
Mm,
The kills are so slow too.
yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Hopefully, my pet luck will continue. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Is this so you have the Rocky pet? Is there have you gotten any other ones yet?
I might, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not been released yet. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean you're so close to playing a Supreme anyways. You might as well just change your account. You got
Yeah,
the
I
two
think
hard part.
pretty much I've done all the supreme requirements so far. So I've got kind of lucky with that.
I guess other than prayer, huh? Because you would need 52.
Ah,
Although you
that's true.
probably
I'm only 50 at the moment for prayer.
okay. Which is
So yeah.
great for a chunk account, having the ice giants, all the big
Mm,
bones and
yeah, the
stuff.
big bones were nice. I went up to 43 with regular bones on the men and women. And
Ooh,
then I just got to the point where I was just like, this is just too slow now. But I
yeah.
thought it'd be cool to get overheads at least. And then yeah, when I started on the ice giants, I just thought, well, I've got some better bones now, so I may as well bury them.
Now I've never cut willows in this area, but this is actually really convenient.
I know, right? It's a good spot. Like it,
Yeah,
I actually think it might be closer than the Draenor Bank to the Willows.
yeah. It's
Like, I'm
definitely it's
surprised it's not.
close.
I'm surprised it's not more used.
Yeah,
Like it's a really good spot for. Yeah, and I've obviously got. There's two oak trees here, and then all the regular trees as well. I think there's a yew somewhere in the background. I might be wrong with that, but like outside of the chunk, there might have been a yew, but I might be imagining things probably.
yeah. It's a nice little spot. So
Mm.
what inspired you to make a chunk account? Were you watching YouTube series, just playing the game?
Yeah. So I mean, I've not played that much OSRS. So I've got one other account which is an Iron Man, and they've been pretty much since I started the chunk account, they've been chopping magic trees at the woodcutting guild, and I think I just hit 97 this morning, which is kind of cool. I've got over 30,000 magic logs, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's my only other account, and I haven't really done much with it. I mean, it's got base 70 stats pretty much across the board. Not many quests done. Like it was just like, oh, I'll try OSRS a bit because I came from RuneScape 3, so
Okay.
I've got a maxed RuneScape 3 account. I love that game to bits. Like I don't care what anyone says. It's a good game. Um, but it is interesting in the sense that how different they are. But yeah, so I came from RS3 and I saw. Obviously, I heard of Settled and I watched his videos, and then I saw Limpwort and Verf and people like the big names, and then I think it was Frey who I watched, and I was just like, oh, this actually seems kind of fun and like something I could do. And I saw that there was like a clan for it in his chat and everything. And I thought, you know what, like it seems like it's quite a well done thing, and like there's loads of people to support and stuff. Being a bit of a noob to the game, like there's a clan that will support, like can ask questions and stuff. So I just thought I'd go for it, and I knew I wanted to make videos and stuff. So I thought that's a good reason to start doing that. So yeah, I just sort of started it on a bit of a whim, really, and it's gone quite well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest inspirations would be Limpwort, Verf, and Frey. Actually, tell a lie. It was Hannibal, Seer Supreme. He was the one that I watched the most and thought, oh, okay, this is something I could do.
No, that's awesome. I've never played. And that's a lie. I have played like 20 minutes of RuneScape 3, and I do not understand it at all. It is so.
Oh,
It feels like speaking another language.
fully. Yeah, I get that completely. Like it's and me as someone who's played like I'd say my account's probably about 2,000 hours played on it.
Okay.
Like in fact I have had like a 6 month break, and then if I've gone back to it, it's kind of like where do I even start? Like I came off it completely for about a year, and then necromancy came out, and I thought, okay, well, I used to have a max cape, I need to get that back, so I'm going to get back on it. And it was very confusing, and I mean there's so many like particles and special effects and god knows what else, like all the crazy graphics and stuff going on. Like the interface is super confusing and stuff, but I don't know, it's just a different game, and people try to compare OSRS and RS3, and it's just like, don't do that. Just take them for what they are. They're both good
Yeah.
for different things, different audiences. Like yeah.
So did you play before EOC, or is that not something that was on your radar?
Oh yeah. My beginning RuneScape story is kind of funny actually, because I was in, I think, year 5 or year 6, which in the UK is like the last 2 years of primary school. How old are you? Like sort of 9, 10, 11, around there. So I was quite young actually. I was like super young when I started playing. And my mate had surgery in school. He had a he had a surgical like circumcision for like medical reasons, um, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, like, and so he didn't go to school for a couple of weeks because he like obviously recovering and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I went round his like after school every day just to like hang out and make sure he was all right and stuff. And he was just like, "Oh, I found this new game." Because I mean, we played a couple of like computer games and stuff. We went on Habbo Hotel, and there was like this other one called like Tribal Wars, which I guess is the nearest thing these days is like Clash of Clans, that type of thing. But it was like
Okay.
super old, like browser based and stuff. And he was just like, "I found this new medieval game." I was like, "Oh, cool. What is it?" And he was like, "It's called RuneScape." And I was like, "Oh, let's have a look." And so like I watched him play on his account, and I was instantly hooked. I was like, what the hell? Like the character moves where you click, and like all the graphics were so good, like for that time and stuff. And yeah, I was just like instantly hooked. That must have been what, 2005, 2006, like super early on. And yeah, so in fact, I remember actually my first account. I don't know what happened, but basically I ended up in what I believe was Falador, like upstairs in some building.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I got there because I basically logged in one day and I was like upstairs in this random building. I don't know if my account
Oh
got
no.
hacked or whatever, but like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was this was like a kid's account, so I had like maybe like
30K.
3 levels of attack. Like there was nothing on there, but I was just so confused, and I thought that each world in game was like a different place. Got so confused, and I was just like, I can't work out which world I used to be in, so I just started a new account. It was so weird. But yeah, so I played it for quite a while as a kid, and then I sort of grew up as it progressed into RS3. And when the evolution of combat came out, I was fine with it. I was just like, cool, okay, like it's a new thing to do. Like it seemed a bit like more of a learning curve, like more stuff to do. And I just saw it as like a game progressing as they generally do. I completely get
Yeah.
why it was such a controversial change, and I'm very glad they brought out old school RuneScape. But like, yeah, I was fine with it. I was one of the few that was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, one of the I think I've told the story on my series, but when I first started playing, a guy took me to the Draenor bank and like told me to put all
Mm.
my stuff in it and stuff. And then I died and I never knew how to get back. And I thought the guy
Oh
stole all
no.
my stuff. It took me
Oh
so long to figure out what was going on.
oh man,
I
that's
thought I got
crazy.
scammed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got scammed once actually. I got like I think it was wilderness lured or something. In fact, to this day, I still don't know where I was taken. But it was like some
Mm.
PvP area where like it was like the classic one. I was a naive like 12-year-old or whatever. It was the classic like, oh, I want to make a video. Can I interview you? Wear your best armor and all this, that, and the other. Like, I didn't think I had that much though. I think I had the Zamarok rune armor, like the one with the red outlines and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
kind of cool to have. But like, yeah, it wasn't like I had anything too crazy, but still, that kind of sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you were gonna
Yeah,
say like
I had a Santa hat as well on my old account, and
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
like at the time I remember I bought it for like 105 mil,
Mm.
and then I just stopped playing for years, and then like years later I sort of heard about like how much party hats and stuff were worth, and I looked up how much like Santa hats were worth, and they were going for like I can't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was like 500-600 pounds or like $800 or whatever, like real life money. And I was like, holy shit, I've got one of them. So I went back on my account and it had been hacked to high hell. Like there was nothing left in there. I was absolutely gutted. But it is what it is.
That's
Oh well.
brutal. Is there anyone that you have been watching recently that you've been excited about what they're doing? Something new, different, just something exciting?
Oh, I think the obvious one for something different would have to be Evil Chunk. Like that's
Yeah,
such a cool concept for the I know you obviously interviewed him and like you expressed how much you enjoyed his idea and series as well. It's very sort of similar to yours in some ways, but I think the way he's used an in-game mechanic is really cool.
yeah,
Um and yeah, so he's definitely something different that I've been enjoying. Obviously like the same old like settled series and stuff like they're quite cool to watch he just does a good job, didn't he? My boy Seer Supreme, I'm loving it, like Hannibal's new series, the Zayabound series, so I'd definitely check that out. Like that's something cool. Ultimate Iron Man in Zaya. Who else is there? Obviously you got people like Mark RS. So he's just finished his crazy 99 attack and strength, hasn't he? You interviewed
yeah.
him as well, didn't you? Am I
I
right?
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That video
Yeah.
just came out yesterday, I
Yeah, I thought I
think.
saw it pop up. Yeah, and I haven't watched that one yet, but yeah, so his series is pretty crazy. Like he put himself right in the deep end, didn't he? But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that.
he's good. Sportis as well, like his
Yep.
because he's doing Vala locked, and his is really cool because when he started his series, there wasn't any information on the chunk picker, so he was basically working it out completely freehand. Like he was doing it completely on his own, basically, just like working out what he's able to do and what his tasks should be and stuff. So that's quite a cool series to watch as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll have to check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's cool. It's a good series as well. Well done, well presented.
Well, man, how can people find you, find your series, give you support? What would be the best way to do that?
So if you are on YouTube, you just search for Chunk Sarim or Ordo OSRS. My channel is just called Ordo. The tag is Ordo OSRS. And the picture is just like a blue circle with my character standing in the middle, looking confused. But yeah, the series is Chunk Sarim. I think if you search for Chunk Sarim, it should come up like straight away now. I think it's got to that point, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's how you find me.
Well, man, again, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't
Thanks for
checked out
having
his
me.
channel, yeah, totally. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, go over there, give him some love.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me, and thanks to anyone who watches this.